All right, so I have, of course, as you know, I've been getting into Warhammer, and I've been listening to this audio book called the BIG DAKKA. It's a book about the orcs and the gruts and some other people that honestly they're not as interesting as the orcs and the gruts. So I'm enjoying the book, but I thought that there was a really cool moment that I wanted to talk about and how it actually kind of relates to like modern day things. And while I talk about it, I'm gonna open this guy. So, um, the BIG DAKKA. So there is a portion in the book where you're following the story of a grot named what's his name? I think it's Snagga or something like that. And it's because he has a tiny tooth, and so he calls himself Snagga. Like their names are like ridiculous. But I thought it was interesting that he's like this one grot that's like actually smart. You know, like he actually sees the bigger issue, the bigger problems with what their life is like. And I just think that that's so cool because I think oftentimes in life, we all have this moment. Like, we all have this moment where we're just like, oh man, like, I realize something is wrong here, but I'm like powerless to really do anything about it. So it's like you kind of go with the flow, right? Or as these new kids call it, quiet quitting. And except he doesn't just quiet quit, man. Like he plans his exit in a big way. And I'm not done with the book, but like he realizes that out of all of the other grots, you know, he, like I said, he's like one of the smart ones. And it's almost like the allegory of the cave. I don't know if you guys know Plato's Republic and the allegory of the cave, but yeah, wow, yeah, that's how you do it. But I thought it was interesting because it literally plays out like that. And basically he comes up with this plan of opening up this warp and getting him and, you know, some of his guys out, and he's trying to save them, but they're all so scared of the orcs, and the orcs are stupid. They're just dumb. The orcs are dumb. Like there's no other way to explain orcs and their mentality other than to say that they're just stupid. They are. But they're not only just stupid, but they're incredibly strong and resilient. So, which also kind of relates to today's age of people. But I just think that it's interesting to hear it in a Warhammerish language, because he's like plotting and sneaking, and he has to get like a dead they call him what do they call him? I can't remember what they call them, because the orcs have their own names for things, the orcs and the grots. But spikies, yeah, that's what he was calling them, spikies. And I think they're referring to demons. I think that's what they're doing. But basically he needed one in order to open up. Either he's referring to a demon or he's referring to maybe like an Eldari or something. But he basically has to not kill it, but basically bring one in alive. And yeah, these arms don't ever really go up that far. But anyway, he has to bring one in alive so that, oh no, that arm's just stuck. Okay, well, let's see if I can massage it. Might not be able to. Might have to put some oil on that. But anyway, that's something I can do later. Yeah, so he's basically like trying to save the other grots from their inevitable fate of just being killed for nothing. like the orcs, they don't care. The orcs don't care. The mech boys don't care. Like none of them care about grots. Like grots are just there for their like amusement and like puns, and like they literally shoot them out of cannons. Like they do not care about these other little creatures. But the grots are actually smarter than the orcs. And for those of you that know Warhammer better than I do, y'all can correct me on that if you want. But from based on what I'm hearing and based on what I'm, hearing and all that, hey, it seems to me that the orcs aren't the brightest crayon in the box. So yeah, I think it's very interesting to hear this, kind of allegory of the cave style storytelling in this book about, creatures that are supposed to just be dumb, right? Like they're just supposed to be stupid. They're not supposed to know any better, but clearly this grot does, and I like it. I like it because it's like a story of reality. Like, how many times in real life are you the smartest person in the room, but you can't show it because you know that the other dumb people in the room are going to be afraid of your intelligence? If you show that you're too smart, they're going to ostracize you for that. You may face some management retaliation, or which I know some people are going to be like, oh, you just go to HR. Yeah, okay, whatever. Just don't forget that HR is not your friend. But yeah, like, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where something's wrong? You know that what you're looking at is not right, but you know that if you speak up and say something, that's the end of you. That's the end of your job. That's the end of your relationship. That's the end of, friendships, or, or whatever the case may be. Society, society is going to outcast you, or, whatever the case may be, but something's wrong. And it's interesting because this grot Snagga, I gotta get his name right, but he knows something's wrong. And this book is great. It's called the Big Dakka, and I recommend it. The voice, oh my god, the dude that's doing the narration, dude, hat off to you. I really need to get that guy's name. I should have learned his name before I did this video, but his ability to switch from orc style, like country, like kind of ghetto-ish style talking, to like this snobbish, noble talk, and man, when he gets into the orc voice, it reaches deep, like it's crazy. Like just hearing this guy switch from, the light hello, and then he goes into the great, it's I can't do it. I'm trying. I'm trying to do it, but maybe if I practice more at it. But and then he goes into like the noble voice. It's good. Like I gotta recommend it. Especially, like I said, I'm listening to the Audible. I recommend it. I think it's great. Oh man, that kind of sucks. That little pink splotch right there. Yeah, no big deal. It's Warhammer. They don't all look perfect. But plus this is my second one of this particular figure anyway, so anyway. Yeah, like I recommend the book. I think a lot of the books are good. My favorite book so far is the one with Lionel Johnson in it, when he returns. That's my favorite book so far. The guy that did the narration in that book, he killed it. He got me into it. I gotta admit, whoever that is, I think that we don't give Audible and all of that enough credit, because some of these people are some amazing narrators, and they tell the story and make it sound more interesting than it probably actually is. But, or at least, because when you're taking words and you're just, I guess it's like when you look at a script and it tells you exactly what to say, but then you man, hit the camera. You know, it's your job to essentially, you know, bring these characters to life. I mean, you don't know what they sound like. You don't know how they're supposed to, you know, you don't know how they're like their mannerisms and stuff like that. So it's like you basically have to come up with all of that stuff on your own. And I would say that it's quite amazing, honestly, to listen to these people switch their voices around and do so much with their voices to, you know, even when they're reading female characters, you know, like listening to them switch up their voices. I really recommend a lot of the Warhammer books. I've seen some, particularly the one with Angron in it that I guess people didn't really like or whatever, but you know, I don't let Amazon reviews sway me, honestly, because hey man, let's see if I can do a what is reuse fighting stance? Let's see if I can do it. Put a Warhammer guy in a Ryu fighting stance. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. But anyway, so I recommend it. Like I said, I keep saying it over and over again, but I do because I'm rambling, y'all. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. I think it's a great book. I think it's a great pastime, especially if you're at work and you're just, you know, you need something to listen to while you work. Yeah, I recommend really any audio book because, you know, whatever you're into, I think that you should listen to someone read the book to you, you know. So yeah, but that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to share that. I thought that while I shared it, I would open up this Warhammer figure. But all right, that's gonna be the end of this. I don't want to ramble on too much longer. I don't want to, you know, make you guys feel like you're wasting your time. I just wanted to be a big old nerd for a minute, and I said, why not record my thoughts, as scrambled as they were. So y'all have a good one.